Alrighty. Okay, today we are going to be doing some texturing. I'm going to at least try to get the majority of this object textured, at least with the color, and then we'll work on maybe the bump mapping tomorrow. Probably not going to do a whole lot of bump mapping, and depending on how much I have left, I might go into a little bit more depth to maybe like try to get some rust going, but that's not necessarily something that we need to worry about. If your a particular one ends up looking a little bit more pristine, then a little bit wear and tear, which is perfectly fine. Just adding those little pieces of detail does take a lot more of time, and it will take a lot more effort. Alright, so the easiest thing what we're going to do, actually what we're going to do first is I'm going to get my sub D out and throw it under here. I'm going to throw my camera body in that sub D so I can kind of see what all this is going to be. Faceplate, knob, and I'm going to probably take out all of these. Alright, so they don't get like double sub-deed. Okay, so that's what it was looking like when I kind of got doubled sub-deed. But overall, this is my object as it looks right now. I'll do a quick render. Looks pretty decent, at least on the modeling side. But we're gonna go ahead and want to make it extra good with the rest of the object. All right. So if you have this already set up with your sub-Ds and stuff like that, but you want to really get into the nitty-gritty of selecting the right things. Right now we don't need a lot of the actual sub-D process to it, and that actually might make it a little bit more difficult to see what's going on. So what we're going to do is, instead of ungrouping them, we're going to select the camera body and we're going to bring it down to 0. Now what this does is it allows me to see everything at 0 sub-Ds, so it means it is not adding any subdivisions at all. Alright, and what we're going to do first, I'm going to get rid of all of these other ones that I don't have. Alright, so we're going to work on trying to get some metal look to it. Now I'm gonna look and I see maybe like two or three different types of metal. The edges right here, and then the actual knob pieces, they look like they're about the same kind of metal. And then these objects right here, these ones right there, are going to have a kind of a little bit more, not as shiny, it's a little bit more brash type of metal. These faceplates, and these two the screws are up top, look like they're gonna have, and the one on the bottom are gonna have their own, are actually gonna have the same type of metal as this side piece. And then this camera lens has, actually I kind of think it needs to get a little bit on, it needs to expand that a little bit. Now that I take a look at it. Alright. This whole thing looks like it needs to expand a little bit. Looks like it needs to go out a little bit more, just a tiny bit. So of course, as you can see, this is kind of one of those things where you working on it and then you're like, you know what, I think it looks like it needs a little bit more. So okay, so there we go. So then also this piece right here looks like it kind of has some. It's a little bit dirty, so I could actually end up getting away with maybe applying both these metal pieces to it, and then maybe okay. So then also this screw and this screw and this screw have like a rusty brown to it, like the whole thing's rusty brown. So I'll probably make that'll be my three different metals. So this one, which is going to be include these pieces, the one for this, and then the rusty brown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to create. I'm going to go to load material preset, and now there's a bunch of different options that I can actually change from. So if I go to broadcast, and these are really not going to worry too much about what you're going to say. They're just going to give you different options on your thing. Probably not going to want to do sketch. Sculpting shaders you're probably not going to need for this particular one. You can check some of these prime ones for different things. Light, that means they're not going to be as crazy, but you're going to have different kind of options to it. And so you can do things too. So if you kind of like this gold antique, but you think it's going to work better in silver, if I create that right there, if I change the color to more of a silver look, that it will actually kind of give me if I change around with more of the options itself. Let's get this live interactive render area. So it's only going to render a little bit. All right. Let's just check all these colors. The luminance, that's probably going to need some gray on it also. All right, so that's like a nice dusty, dirty metal right there as it is. Mess with the reflection a little bit. Give it a little bit more of a reflection. And let's see how that turned out. I might want to go ahead and add we're going to go ahead and add an area light just so I can see a little bit better on what it might look with some light going onto it. Change it a little bit. Alright, now let's see how it's looking. Alright, well, this is, let's see, let's keep adding options. Alright. As you can see, that did bump it up quite a bit. So unfortunately, put that down a little bit, that as you can see, it's a lot of just playing with stuff. Actually, this is kind of a dirty metal, and that one will actually work best probably for just for the lens itself. That'll look pretty good for the lens. I don't think it's going to look pretty good for these other objects, but for the lens itself, that might work out. I might actually have to go back into the color and bring it down a little bit, make it a little darker, and also probably with the luminance, bring it down a little bit. Alright, so we're going to go ahead here and we're going to check out some other pre-made or preset options, and it's not a problem to use these ones for anything that you want to use, but alright, I don't see. Okay, so that's the matte color. So actually, I want to look at the natural. We're gonna keep looking at the metal. Chrome is gonna be really, really shiny. Let's try the zinc, and we're gonna throw this on top of this object. That's kind of a flat color, so I don't actually like that one. So. It's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of just kind of playing through what's going to look good. Chrome. So now this chrome is going to be really, really shiny. And it's going to be really reflective. If I kind of like this, I can probably try to maybe get the color to be a little bit less blue. So instead of this blue, a little bit more white. As you can see, that this is just adding a couple shaders is making it a little bit more render heavy. Alright. So maybe here, if I would select more of a white, see what it'd give me. So that's more of a darker one. I'm really looking for something a little bit lighter. This might have something to do with it right here. And that is just not